Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to my secondary channel, the number one grinder, Reels Talk, better known as the number one grinder. That's me. We got another Impact MMA Sports Talk number 28 coming up. We got we got my brother George Peach, the Emperor of ladies, bodybuilding, and MMA extraordinaire. Hopefully, we can have some more people to come to the panel. Um, so people come in, come in, come in, come in. Let me read this out. Just remember, us as the righteous ones, we are still winners. That's the real. Remember that we are still winners. All right. So I'm gonna hit y'all with this intro. Then we're gonna get this going. So if you know somebody love MMA, tell them to come in. Tell them to come through. Tell them to come through. All right. After this, be back.
What y'all thought y'all wasn't gonna see me? I'm the Osiris of this shit.
Check this out.
Perfect.
Champion, the way of the warrior, champion eyes, get back up, my spirit cries.
But you're a well-rounded warrior. You keep on fighting. That's what I am. Well-rounded warrior. I say for me, I've been passed over with my family, my fans, so-called family, some so-called family members, some friends, and etc. Pass over me. They feel that I'm not even there. And I used to accept it as I'm gonna prove something to you. Nah. That I have to understand when I get older is what I am. And I have to understand that when I'm moving of a certain space of my life to strive to do better, not that many people are going to understand your vision. Not many people is refused to understand the growth of your vision, of your self-vision. The growth of your vision help some.
You ain't lying.
Welcome. Right now, we're going to introduce you the one and only. Welcome. Hold on. We're going to introduce you the one and only. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, folks. You know who it is. This is the man all the way to George Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of Film Body Man Talk, a.k.a. the Emperor of WMN Talk, a.k.a. the Prairie Sage, a.k.a. the Joker.
All right. Thank you. How's you feel tonight?
I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling good after I got off the phone with you. I wasn't feeling all that good. I rested a little bit, so I'm better.
That's good.
As Escacha said, he wasn't feeling good.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna see him tonight. I invite some more people to come on. Hope they get on and everything. But
Yeah.
let's get into it, brother. So which fights that
You
that
know what?
intrigue you?
We don't talk about the first fight. We're talking about because the other ones I even pay attention to. It will talk about Ngannou versus Gon. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the fight that I think. All the other ones I didn't really pay attention to. You know, the co-main event I didn't really see. I didn't really, but I did listen to some people who were doing a live stream about it. I saw some of the fight, but truthfully, that's the fight I think everybody really wants to pay attention to.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. But like I said, if y'all know, Francis Ngannou is the UFC heavyweight champion, and Cyril Gane is the UFC interim champion. I don't know why they created an interim title for that. That was it was just
I don't get it either. So but you go ahead.
yeah, because usually give you interim titles because if the reigning champion is hurt or something, they make the interim title because if he's something serious where he's inactive for a extensive amount of time, they create these interim championships. But it's funny, you have an active champion. You have a champion, but he's not active right now because at one point it was supposed to have been him and John Jones supposed to have been fighting. But some stuff for John Jones is I think mostly because John Jones want to get paid. I understand that. And Francis want to get paid. A lot of guys want to make some money because the fact is, it's not like my man, the coach. We talked about this. It's not much money for MMA fighters, and Francis was negotiating his contract, and there's talks that he might. This was his last fight of his contract, so he might not resign. And he's focused on maybe fighting, going back to boxing, and fighting, Tyson Fury. Yeah. But anyway, the fight was pretty good. Most of the part of it, Gane took a lot of control in the fight. He used his, he's more of a techno fighter than anything. He used his, he doesn't have a lot of strength, but he used his skill set. He used his knees. He threw more shots in. One point, Francis looked like he was getting tired. But then by the second round, he took Gane down. And then, Gane, he could have a couple of times, he could have slapped him in a chokehold or got him in a guillotine. But, Gane was he was fighting him. He's fighting him. But I think, pretty much by the, third round, Francis got a little more control. He got him down again, and then he held him down. At one point I thought he was going to throw some hammers, but Gane kind of blocked him from doing that. And it was just it was kind of people. I think a lot of people were looking for a slobber knocker fight. This is more of a wrestling technical fight, and that's one thing Francis is known for his technicality. He's known for throwing hammers and laying guys out. I think there hadn't been that many fights where he had gone 5 rounds. Other than I think his fight against Derek Lewis, I think that went 5 rounds. And it's rare for him to do 5 rounds. But I guess because he's friends with Kamaru Usman, and Usman was in his camp, and they probably working on his wrestling. The 2 Africans. He got and it just, I think by the 4th round, Gane did take Francis down, but, couldn't do much because Francis was fighting. It was just, he was put up a good fight, but he turned over and got Gane on his back. But I think this was just really a technical fight, and a lot of people, I think a lot of the fans were expecting a slobber knocker.
True. Yeah, I think that I heard that he's wanted to fight. He did want to fight the boxer. I don't like to say his name, but I really don't. I don't like saying his name.
Yeah, the sick freak.
Yeah, I call him Wild Animal Eater. That's what I call him. I don't like saying his name, but I think Gane got a bright career. I really believe that. I think that he gonna learn from this, and I believe he can get better. Yeah. I really believe that.
So basically, Francis took Gane's because he was 10-0 when he got to he was 10-0 by the time he came for the fight because he beat Derek Lewis. If you go back to his career, not a lot of other than Derek Lewis and maybe a couple of guys, not a lot of people know because he mostly fought out of France for a long time. And then I think by the time he came to UFC, he was already, I think, 6-0 or 7-0. You know, and the guy is very technical. He comes from a Muay Thai background, which means he's gonna throw a lot of kicks, some elbows. He has a good skill set. I think possibly they might try to do a rematch, but the thing is, if Francis leave, the title's vacated.
Vacated, right?
That means possibly he has to either fight Derek Lewis or maybe Stipe Miocic for maybe for a chance for the title. And not to give it, they're not going to give it to the Gon. That he has to fight for it. More likely, they're going to probably push Derek Lewis, but he didn't do too good. If Derek Lewis didn't do too good against Gon, so it's probably going to be Stipe, or it's going to be somebody else they're going to try to push.
Yeah, I think what it is done on it. I mean, if Francis leave, I think it's going to open the door for Lewis. That's what I think. One of the MMA and stuff like that. I know people still disagree saying this. I said that Derek Lewis could be the next heavyweight champion, is all up to Francis.
But then also we still have John Jones. John Jones is supposed to be fighting in heavyweight.
Right.
And thing was that they're supposed to be, the plan was originally Francis and John, but John is his situation. He just got kicked out of his gym, the evil Winkle Jackson gym, which is one of the worst gyms. I mean, they're fighters. They have fighters who have not even, even though they have people like Holly Holmes and Michelle Waterson. They used to have Cowboy Cerrone, but he left because they picked up that dumbass Mike Perry. And Mike Perry no longer fight MMA because he's over bare knuckle boxing now, and John's gone, so that's one of your big stars, and he's training along with a person I don't like either. That is Mr. Burger King Jr. Henry Cejudo. I'm not a fan of his. He never beat Mighty Mouse. He never beat him. They just gave him that title. I don't know why. And then he decided he wants to quit from MMA. He's a chump. I've never been a fan of his. My man, the coach started, yeah. I said, man, no, coach, nah, I'm not a fan of this dude. And he realized that, yeah, nobody a fan of him. So, possibility is that if, Francis do leave, and he said, he's not going to resign, because the fear was if he lost against Gon, they weren't going to resign him. But now he's a champion still. There's a good chance that they're going to resign him. But he, like I said, he wants to go to boxing. Now we all remember what Dana did a few years ago. He allowed Conor McGregor to go fight Mayweather, and from that he saw how when how the big money they got out of it. I think I think this title fight here, for instance, made a gap maybe about $250,000, $500,000 out of it. But you being a boxing fan and me being a boxing fan, that a lower tier guy makes more than that. A guy who's not even on the main card, one of the undercard guys makes that much in a fight where he can go to boxing. He can fight probably Tyson Fury. They might get $7-10 million out of that. As a matter of fact, Conor got at least about $50 million from the fight with we all know Mayweather don't get out of bed for nothing less than 10 million. So that's what he's gonna focus on. So if that happens, there's no point giving Gon a title shot. He just got his tail handed to him. So what they're going to do is they're probably going to push Stipe Miocic versus John Jones before the title gets vacated. Because Derek Lewis, no point. Derek Lewis, or John can fight. You can have like a little tournament. John can fight. Someone like Derek Lewis or maybe Curtis Blades to get his bearings in the. You see, I don't have the rankings. Let me look real quick. If the rankings is what they are, let me see. I'm going to pull up the UFC rankings. Let's see.
You can share it if you want.
Yeah. All right. Let me see the rankings. All right. All right. This should be pulling up in a second.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Huh?
I said, talk amongst yourselves. Here's somebody who's been
Yeah.
watching. It was a show he used to watch on Saturday Night Live. He used to watch. He had this character on there with, she was it was Mike Myers' person, this old Jewish woman.
Oh, Russia. Oh, yeah.
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 Okay. Let's see. Let's show the rankings. Let me a second. Share. Rates. The screen. All right. Give me a sec. Okay. All right. Now you see, this is the rankings right here,
Okay. Hold on.
and on the top, is it's most definitely. Can you put it on? Because I don't see, because I got to share, but I think you got to put it on because you're the guy with the. This is your live stream.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it right now. Okay, sure.
All right.
Let me see.
Yeah, just got to click it in.
That's out there. Click it. Ask stream. Okay, there you go.
All right. Now, if you see the rankings, you have Francis here at the top, and right here you have Stipe, you have Don, and you have Derek Lewis right there and Curtis Blades. Now they could do this since technically since Francis since Cyril did fought for the title, he's the third man for the bottom, and we all know that Stipe is second because he's the runner up because he was the former champion, so they can do this. Stipe can probably fight John Jones, or John Jones can fight Gone, and then or John Jones can fight Curtis Blades, or I think Derek Lewis probably might put John Jones against Derek Lewis, so get his feet wet, in the heavyweight division. That's how he does against someone like Derek Lewis, or maybe Curtis Blades, and then or possibly like I said Stipe, but more likely if like I said they can do this, they can put CP versus Gon to see who gets the title. Like I said, whenever if Francis said he decides he didn't want to come back, but then if Francis says, you know what, I want to keep my title, I want to stay, he resigns, then more likely they'll probably push John Jones versus Stipe to see who gets a shot at at Francis. That's either way it can go. Nope.
Okay. All right now.
There's so many things they can do. They can do how they want to do it. How the UFC is. They just gotta figure out what plan they got. I think everybody really wants to see John Jones. Really,
That's the sexy one. that's the sexy look for it. It really is. But I don't know Dana White we're gonna push that. We know that. We know how Dana White goes. We know, so we don't have to go into that. But if people want to hear, y'all just have to go back our past MMA talks. You hear how we really feel about Dana White. But we're
not a fan of Dana White. Dana White is a cheapskate. He's prejudiced. There's fighters who should be in the UFC, but because they don't fit the type of it's their complexion, not their content. That's why they're not in there. Like a lady who I consider my sister, Miss Lovett Young, who's been knocking out her last two opponents, right? And she should be in there, been there a long time. But you pick up somebody like Sam Hughes, who's just been a punching bag, for the last couple of fights she has done. People like Tanisha Tennant, who went on his Contender Series, and they screwed her out of a possibility of this fight in UFC by giving it to a fighter who doesn't even have an MMA background, so because she was white and pretty. It's just a lot of BS with the UFC.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah. No. I just I was waiting on you. What you about to say?
Yeah. Again, let me introduce. This is my secondary channel, the number one grind of real talk. This is the underrated MMA talk number 28. We got the one and only brother George Rage, and we talking to be breaking down MMA and stuff like that. So, Gagne, I think he got like I said, he got a bright future.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Derek Lewis, and I was Derek Lewis, I work on my craft. I would. I think it's a great opportunity because I don't think John Jones is part of this championship. Championship. Let's say the championship party. I'll say it like that. He's not part of it. So I was there with Lewis. I think him and Guy be a pretty good match. What do you think?
Well, they already fought before. They fought
Right.
for the interim title. And Derek Lewis, I don't see him involved. And he's just going to be the same person he's going to be. There's no point even having that fight. Everybody sees that fight. Lewis is going to lose again. Maybe somebody like Curtis Blades can probably test Khan for the interim title. Curtis has fought both Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou. He fought Francis twice and got knocked out both. So maybe Curtis Blades might be the fight. Or it's just there's several other fighters there, but Derek Lewis, I think they might well just go ahead. Maybe put Derek Lewis against Stipe Miocic.
Yeah.
See how see these two fight maybe because I think they never fought before. I don't think they have.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't.
No, they haven't. So that'd be a fight for the former champion versus a guy who was like a champion contender. That'd be an interesting fight. But I say John Jones is still in the running because all you gotta do is if he comes in within the fighting weight limit, because he fought 205 for a long time. All you gotta do is come like 220, 215. He's got to put on a little size. He's a skinny guy, because that's why I call him Bones Jones. He used to fight at I believe he used to fight in middleweight before he went up to light heavy.
Right.
Yeah. And he was a pretty good fighter, but his demons just get in the way of his talent.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. If he wouldn't have them demons, he could have been like one of the greats. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. A lot of the greats have demons. Look at Mike Tyson.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just that he just needs to be a little smarter in what he do, especially being a black man. Especially where everybody else, if you black do something, as well as I do. If black fighters do something wrong, everybody's gonna be on his back about it. And the person you don't want to speak his name, he do some stupid stuff, but no one be on his case about it. There's been fighters that do stuff that was really like more violent and aggressive compared to some other fighters, but because of their complexion, that was protect them. I think I was thinking about the who else I was thinking about something like it was in my head. Was there something in your head and you just lost it for a minute, but it popped back later?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about years ago. John was in a fight with a guy, and he threw, I think, some kind of illegal elbow, something like that. And everybody's on his case about that. But there's been fighters that there was one that long ago, Petrin Yan, a Russian fighter who fought Aljamain Sterling, kneed the man while he's down, and because Aljamain took that knee really bad, people get on his case. You gotta think about this. This man, he gets a knee in his head. I don't care who you are. If you get hit in your head while you're down, you should not be on his case because he didn't want to fight. We feel like he's like, I can't, and just because, because the evidence is proof that, Jan did it on purpose because at that fight, I think, everybody knows Khabib. Khabib's from Russia like Jan. He heard, Jan's trainer tell him to do it. And Jan did it. Mm-hmm. This is a rule. It's not like back in the day, in the early days of the UFC, where you had no weight classes. You can hit guys in the back of the head and do all you want. You can't hit a down opponent. and there's no reason to be mad at Aljamain Sterling and say he can't make it. He got the title by default, But only person you should be mad at is Petr Yan. He was the one who did that. He assaulted a man while he's down. He did that, even though he was winning the fight. He was winning the fight, but then he did the stupidest thing in the world. He cheated. So and because of his, and then there's a fight that happened, kind of like almost the same way. It was a fighter who just got cut, Randa Marcos. She fought another fighter, Pinero, whatever she was, and she hits Pinero on her back with an up kick. They're both they're both ground opponents. But the ref, then she fakes like she says she got knocked out, but the way she looked at it, if you go back, you can find it. It's on here. You're on YouTube somewhere. You can see how she just lays herself out. Like somebody going to a funeral and thinking they're laying themselves out. I think that's how. And then they disqualified Randa Marcos. But the thing is that they were both down opponents. That is, and they were both also in the middle of a struggle. Sometimes that happens. Kicks happen. There's an accident. The referee should have said no contest. And then like that, then the girl gets carried off. Most fighters who get knocked out, if they can stand up, they walk. She's carried off by her one of the corner men, like she's like Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yeah, so let me ask you this before we continue. I was thinking about this. I meant to ask this for a long. So every time I will ask it, we getting some good MMA talk. But I'm glad. I'm probably ask this while I'm still waiting for. We're still waiting for some more people to come through on a panel. I invite them, so we'll see what's up. But I was thinking about Silva, right?
Which one?
Silva, the great one.
Oh, you mean Anderson Silva?
Anderson Silva, right? Do you think that Derek Lewis? Do you feel that Derek Lewis should go to that camp and work on his craft?
Anderson's pretty good, and he also has a good boxing background. He knocked the hell out of Tito Ortiz last year.
Yeah.
But you know what? Someone like Anderson, I think he needs to find somebody that fits his style. Anderson Silva, I don't know. I don't think he fits. There looks on. You need somebody that probably could probably help with you, but also you have some little bit of a compatibility with. And I don't know if Anderson Silva would be that type of person. Maybe for also I'm trying to think of a good fighter that would be, who has good talent, tough, good skill set, Anderson would probably be good, but I don't know him. Derek Lewis. If I follow Derek Lewis. His personality, he's wild. He's out there. The brother is, like talk about his balls are hot, and stuff like that. I don't know. It has to be the right.
Some fruity guy, man.
He's just wild. Brothers from Texas are crazy. So
they off. I'm telling you, they don't have a full light. I can tell you that much. They don't. Yeah, but I'm going to do. I'm going to in the near future. What we're going to do this. We're going to pick fighters, right? That is not really champions, and we're going to talk about which team they should go to make them better. How do you feel about that?
That'd be cool,
Yeah, I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to live it up a little bit. We're going to have some fun with that.
Yeah. Also, if you have been watching, MMA, recently I call it the former double champ, the Lioness, or I call it they call it the Lioness, but I call it the Lioness. Anna Nunes left her camp. She was with American Top Team ever since she started with them after her loss to Kat Zingano, like about that's been like 6-7 years ago. When Kat was channeling Magnum TA doing her in suplexes. She went to there, and after that she was on 12-fight win streak. She beats Ronda. Ronda Rousey. She beats Miesha Tate. She beats Cyborg. She beats Valentina twice. She beats up her best friend, Raquel Pennington. I mean, she knocks out Holly Holmes, and Holly Holmes hadn't been knocked out since her fight against um, Sophie Mathis, and that's been, God, almost, a little over 15, about 10, 12 years ago. It's been such a long time. And now she's going to open her camp. And the debate is, this is just one loss, and all you could do just maybe, adjust and make some things, change your things. You don't have to just leave the camp. You've been there for that long. Even Cyborg, when she had her first loss after going undefeated almost 14 years, she was undefeated longer than and she only had, and being, she had her first loss. It was 2005. That's about 16 years. That's when she first started. And never had any losses. Now, people say where you compare Nunes's and her records together because there's certain people they fought, but still she went 15 years. 15 years. No, 13 to 14 years without a defeat. That's a long time without going defeated. She has that no contest because of the steroids. That's one thing. That's something totally different. But it's just that the fact is that even though she may have left her camp, she may have changed a few things. And the thing is, Amanda Nunes, she's just wishy-washy. That's why I'm not a fan of hers. She don't know what she wants to do. She wants to open her own gym. I was talking with a lady last week. I had we talked about we called me. We talked about how her thoughts is that the reason why Nunes is doing it because the fact is she wants to change her way of training. Yes, women and men training are totally different. You can't train a man the same way you train a woman, but she's been training as long as she has under that same kind of program, and now she wants to change. And if she gets a rematch with Julian Pena, I think she might lose. Because the only thing the truth was, Pena did what like Kat Zingano is. She went at her. She tried to dodge her punches. She tried to, try to outsmart Nunes. She just went head to head with her. The only reason why Cyborg lost because Cyborg got her emotions. She should have been a little bit more control. She would have beat, Amanda Nunes. But the thing is, you have to be a smart fighter. That's all it is. And whatever she's doing, she's doing it just because, she's in her feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah. I tell you, but yeah. So, did you say you haven't checked out the other matches?
Nah, like I said, other ones. Other than I just mostly heard some of them. I didn't really watch them. The one really was that when it got my attention was Nagano, and because I caught a couple of streams, and I saw that when the Nagano was the one was I think was the main event. The co-main event was Berdero. What the name? I think it was Flyweight Championship. Two guys already fought for before. They fought, one beat one and one the other, and then this was the third fight between each other, and I didn't really, pay attention. That's why we need someone like where's Watcher, where's Todd? They really probably will watch a lot more. I don't really watch the fights because I'm not gonna pay the other one all his money. I try to find the streams, but usually the streams it's hard to find them. I don't want to take a chance to get a virus on my computer. We went to the wrong place, and it's just sometimes it's not worth. It's crazy how they charging for some of these pay-per-views, and especially when people are not they're working that much. It's just you would think they would be smart and try to see the maybe if you cut down pay-per-views down a little bit, more people will willing to buy them. Because the fact is, hey, it saves a little money in their pocket. And like I said, this is about the end of the month for me, and I'm on a budget, and I don't feel like throwing away like $60-$70 for something. I'm just gonna watch maybe 2 or 3 fights out of it, and that's about it. Yeah. So
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was checking out some of them, but yeah. I think I said I said by last year, I think MMA should do better the undercards. I think the undercards is not what it used to be. I think it's not intriguing. It's like sometimes we be doing this almost a year and a half. Like we be actually breaking down like main events. And it's not like a lot of we talk. Oh yeah, I don't know what the mainstream media is seeing, but it's like yeah, they're kidding me. But
I think the one thing is it's about it's about who's more popular. It's about popularity contest sometimes, or sometimes it's
mm-hmm,
just about putting some stuff together.
mm-hmm,
Dana White mostly makes up the matches. He has two other guys like there's Nick Maynard and Charles Shelby, but Dana White does a lot of stuff. Dana White should do. This is something I mentioned before. Dana White has been there too long, and I know he knows all the people. He's the shot caller, but he needs to step aside for a little bit. They need to grow. There's fighters there that need to be cut. Fighters who are just there just for because Dana White likes them, but they're not really serving no purpose. I remember I think Watcher said how GSP is still contracted, but he hadn't fought in almost 4 years.
mm-hmm,
Joe Shapiro hadn't fought since his last fight with Michael Brisbane. That's been like almost 3-4 years, and you
mm-hmm,
still have him on contract. This fighters that like people like he still has I mentioned again Cowboy Cerrone. Is
mm-hmm,
he's one of the guys who started him. Nate Diaz, the Diaz brothers started when in the a little bit after they when he bought out the UFC from the Gracie family. And
mm-hmm.
it's just that he needs to step aside. Here's what needs to happen. Sean Shelby and Nick Manning step up. David can be there. He can just be a figurehead. He can do a lot of stuff like that. Be there at the conference like that. But behind the scenes, they should take control. This is one lady who I'm a fan of, who just recently who got inducted to the International Sports Hall of Fame, and that's Shannon Knapp. Shannon Knapp, she runs Invicta. She needs to come over here and take control of the women. Just been a couple weeks ago, Invicta had an event, Invicta 45. It was the main event was Jessica Boney versus Alicia Zapatella, and Invicta don't come on maybe 3 times in a year, she could come over there, take control of the women. They still have a wasteland at 145. She can find the women. She can bring women from the Invicta. Also, she can recruit women for 145. Also, she can, bring in fresher fighters because in 135, you got fighters that we've been there since 2013, 2014. One lady who's a fan of Sarah McMahon. I love Sarah McMahon. She's a great fighter, but I think she needs to go ahead and step down. Holly Holmes, she's been on and off, injury, stuff like that. Holly is getting old. I think Holly is just almost 40. She's done. You just keep it on because she's the blonde white girl they like to see a fight. They like to see her in her tight little shorts. She needs to go. They need to bring in younger fighters, recruit fighters. Don't go by the people because they look pretty. They did it with Paige Van Zandt. Look what happened with her. She's now, coach just mentioned she's supposed to put out a sex tape with her husband. People might want to see it. I ain't gonna lie, Paige is a cute girl, but but she's not that. She's not that great of a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Recruit. You can like us also. Cyborg. She does. She does own promotion back in Brazil. That's where they get a lot of the fighters from Brazil. You can go over there and recruit. Bellator needs to do it too. With Bellator, they just recruiting old fighters to get cut from the UFC. They need to go and recruit new fighters. Also they need to build their women's division. They can put on 2 more divisions. You need to add strawweight and you need to add bantamweight. You have women who's fighting at 125 who are too, I would say, too small for the division. Have women fighting at 145 who are too small for it. There's a lady who I follow, Jessica Black Widow Boraga. She's been fighting 145. For the last couple of fights, she straight losses. I think she'd be better off with 135. There's one lady who I saw. She fought some time ago. Coach did an interview with her. She got knocked out by a girl, Valerie Oreda. No. That was another girl who got knocked out. No. This chick I'm talking about. This chick I talked about who did an interview with Coach was named Jennifer Ruiz. She got knocked out by this Japanese chick. And then this other chick named Tara Graff, she has taken 2 losses, and both of them been knockouts. She got knocked out by a girl, Valerie Oreda, the first time, and this Russian chick. She needs to fight at 115. She's too small for 125. You know, there's a lot of things that the organization can do, but they don't want to do because you know what, either for money reasons or whatever that. Oh, we got Watcher here. Yo, Watcher.
Hey, what's going on, Watcher?
Yeah.
Watcher, I sent the link to your. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you say? I'm talking. I sent the link to his email. He say he can't
Oh, you
make
can make it
now.
right now.
Oh, that was
Boom.
that's all right.
Yeah, because Watcher, I think he's a lot more onto it than I am. I know some of the little stuff here and there. I'm the type of person, I pay attention to certain more of the superstars that are bigger. I don't follow a lot of the guys who are coming up the rankings. And also pay attention because the women, I pay attention to them more because the fact is they lose a lot more attention compared to the men. Because you know, there's if you think, like I said, there's like 500,000 channels dedicated to men. They don't really talk about the women that much. You know, they don't like like other than my man the coach, WM Addict, Comma Breaker, also Filter MMA. One thing you just hadn't heard, Misha, I call him Misha Cupcake Hate Tate, has decided to go down and fight at 125. I'm not a fan of Misha Tate. I don't stand her. She is a hater. No wonder Ronda Rousey broke her arm the last time. She, and she's fighting in a division that she don't need to be because these girls are figuring some for that's Valentina's division. And she's been running roughshod that division ever since she got that title. She has been dominant.
That was the one got her boobs done, right?
Misha Tate, yeah, that's the one that Dana White paid for a nose job. And
Yeah. I'm telling you like this. I don't care anybody say Dana White did something to that. I ain't care when anybody said. Y'all can say you want no. Dana White don't want to pay no fighters though. But he paid for her boobs.
Yeah, there's been rumors that he's been having some, been Costa Kusai with some fighters. Like there's one fighter named Cesar Calvillo. She was really, she fought at 115. There's always been talks about her and him. There's been some, actually some say about him and Ronda Rousey, but for what I've heard, Ronda Rousey and her trainer Edmund, what's the face? Forget the guy's name. They used to be, buddy, hitting knuckles. You know what knuckles I'm talking about. That moose knuckle. And there's been some rumors here and there, how some fighters get a little more privilege than others, but mostly because of the fan base. The guys like certain girls, and they get the push. And same like this with how somebody like Conor McGregor's popular, even though he's a nut job. He's punching old men and DJs. I mean, but that's the thing is, he if Dana really likes somebody, he's gonna give you a push. He's gonna give you opportunities.
More, especially if someone more than an opportunity. Come on, we got to keep it real and keep it real on this channel.
Yeah, because especially if you are El Blanco, or if you're just popular enough where you get a lot more attention. And this fighter is that he used to back Nagano until Nagano lost to Miocic the first time. And he likes Stipe because one time I think Stipe won the title from I think when last time he won that title back, he took it out of Dana White's hands and gave it to his trainer to put on his waist. He hates Stipe Miocic because he's not a kiss ass. He's not a bends to Dana White's mentality.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I tell you, but I know about Dana White. I don't know how they let him surface in like that. Dana White, I'd be every time.
It's about money and who you know and who you do. Basically, that's what it is. Like I said, he gets the fights that we want to see, but sometimes he really messes with people. Like I said, one lady who I'm a fan of, Miss Sarah Alpar. I did an interview with her. She's a great MMA fighter. She's a great person. She only had 2 fights. She fought against, her first fight she fought against somebody who's been fighting for that's Jesse Rose Clark. That should have been her first fight. She shouldn't fight somebody who's a veteran like that. You should fight somebody who's up and coming like yourself. You don't put somebody in there with somebody who's been through wars and like that. I mean, he does that sometimes. He'll put up and coming fighters who just got into UFC up against somebody who's been MMA a lot longer than them, you know, and then he'll give fighters rubber matches so they can, like, when Holly Holm was on her 3-fight losing streak, they put her against our girl Bitch, and then Bitch was beating her. Bitch was beating her. But Bitch, what she did was stupid thing was taunting her, and she did that one trick pony with that head kick, or that fight with we mentioned against Conor McGregor had a fight with Cowboy Cerrone. How I'm kind of explaining you, how do you beat a man with a shoulder watch you can explain me, how did Conor McGregor beat Cerrone with a shoulder stiff? I mean tell me, explain that to me. How is that possible? I don't. He took a dive. He got paid and took a dive. And then Conor gets fighting with Poirier, and we're not even sure when Conor ever come back, because that he's going to take him maybe. See, when he got the ankle hurt like in last summer, and it's going to take him at least the middle of next summer for it really is more, you can move around, because you ever broke a bone, even if unless it's a clean break, it's gonna take a while for it to heal. I mean, there's a fighter I mentioned before, Raquel Pennington, who fought her dear friend Amanda Nunes, and Pennington's leg she got broken like in a kind of I think it was a ATV or a car wreck, and there was attacking that leg. He just no. I think it's just yeah.
I really don't know. I don't know these people. Well, is there anything else we can discuss about?
We can. I sent you something. You should have seen it. A girl got a new set of attachments.
Oh, you sent it to me?
Yeah. A girl bitch, she got a new set of attachments now. She has a more of a Coke bottle figure.
Yeah. Yeah. And trust me, fam, I'm not showing that. That's all me, myself, and I. Yeah. Coca-Cola, baby.
Yeah. But like I said, one thing what needs to happen in MMA, we talked about this before, is that I'm like Shamir talked about this. We were talking about this, how it should have set up things where, like what they call, she mentions as smokers, where fighters don't have to worry about just test them and build them up, build up their skill set before you throw them into the big ring like UFC. But UFC don't want to put that money out for that, and also instead again, these fighters need to be paid more. They are coming in to get a lot of risk and little reward. You got to think about it. If you're not, like I said, the top guys still don't make as much more than maybe the top boxers. And I think somebody should step up. I mean, the thing is, the fighters are worried about their short-term money instead of their long-term money. It should be. I talk with fighters how they have to pay out of their pocket for their health, for their medical bills. They have to pay out of pocket for their training, and even after you get this big money, it don't last that long. You got to pay this person, that person, got to pay taxes, this and that. And then you just have enough money to last you the next 3 or 4 months to the next fight. It's just crazy how these fighters go through so much and get so little. Like you get think about look at somebody like people like Spence or Pacquiao. They can sit out for 2 years without fighting, and they have money to sit on. As long as they don't spend it too much on stupid stuff, and they make sure this is what this guy told me one time. I was watching this thing. This guy who's a millionaire, and somebody who's doing an interview and asked him, "How you watch your money? How you get your money?" He said, "Well, I'm like this. I got accountant to watch. I got accountant to do my money. I got accountant to watch that accountant. I got accountant to watch that accountant. I got lawyer to watch that accountant, and I watch all of them. You don't trust nobody else with your money but you." And the thing needs to be done is that these fighters need to be paid. I think if you're the top guys, you shouldn't be making. I'm not saying you're gonna make as much as boxers, but you should be getting at least, you know, $2 or $3 million, per fight. And then if you like somebody on the lower end, you should get at least, I would say, 100, maybe about 56, maybe $100,000, because you know what, that would help you out. You don't have to do GoFundMe's for do your camp, or try to work 2 or 3 jobs when you try, and also try to train. They need as much support they can. But Dana White, he's too cheap. Scott Coker, he needs somebody to help him out. Invicta, it's a women's division. They probably need maybe 2 or 3 good sponsors to get behind them to build that. It's just, if that's why you're seeing people like Tyron Woodley go over and fight Jake Paul and get knocked out. He's made, from 2 of his fights, he probably made more than when he was champion and all the years he was in the UFC, just from 2 fights.
Yeah. Brother Watcher said in the comments he should leave the UFC.
Yeah, and because he's thinking about leaving, because the fact is, because Dana has a problem with his manager. His manager is one of these sports managers. These are the type of guys that used to deal with guys in the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball. He's used to dealing with hard-nosed managers and owners. But it's just that Dana White, just all the others managers that other fights are sponsored by MMA managers, or MMA management. They kiss Dana's ass. They will. Oh, you see the message Nagano's manager got. What was the message? What is it? Watch you tell us. What was it? Because because we don't. Like I said, we don't. I think it should be on Twitter or something like that. Is wrestling like Twitter?
Huh?
You see, Watcher said that. Yeah, definitely someone from the UFC higher ups.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they need to do something about it. Because Francis is a big star. You should pay the man. You should pay him John Jones. You want to keep your fighters, you should pay them. It's money. Money makes the world go round. Truthfully, it does. And if you give some people little things to help them out financially, you have fighters not to struggle as hard. You don't see no boxer working a full-time job. Even the lower end guys, still don't even work a real job. They haven't worked a real job after they start making some money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me read these comments. Brother Watson Day was threatening Francis and his manager. Didn't surprise me.
Yeah, but like I said, his manager is one of those real sports managers. He's not one of these UFC. These MMA managers who were like, if you push out against him, he's gonna say yes sir, and then just give up the cookies. No, he's one of these real, sports managers. Who's used to dealing with hard nosed executives, stuff like that. And that's the problem. They push on him. He's not afraid to push back.
Right, exactly. Brother Watcher, if you there, type something in the chat for me, please. Type something in the chat. Yeah, this is true, because that, and that's why one of the reasons I don't blame that. Like I'm going about, I'm looking at it, and I agree with Brother Watcher. I don't blame he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him.
And you don't have to really box, because really how the guy got up with Francis, because Francis did the movie Hobbs and Shaw, so he can go to acting. There's always action movies.
You know what I'm saying? And then, that's what I'm saying. That's what it goes different. I hear people defend Dana White. Yo, he's a cheap mother.
No.
He's cheap. He is doggone cheap. If you have a UFC fight legend, like let's take Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
That make millions and millions. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even want to pay him, but he got a boxing, background. That's different. Yeah. But my point is this: he's still winning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on you. That's on you. That's on you, Dana White.
Mm-hmm. Watch this.
Dana White, yeah.
You watch this. That John Jones needs to be quiet.
They need to be quiet. You druggy. If you blew that, you blew it too.
Yeah. For anything, you should be somebody say, you know what, Francis, you're doing what you need to do.
And that's good. And I'm gonna tell you one thing too. I think this is going to be a trend too. It's going to be a lot of fighters. MMA fight. They're gonna look at France, and they're gonna look at They don't be surprised. Gonna be some of them that want this match to work for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised because now you got MMA fighters. They smart up now. They are smart enough. They're like, oh yeah, I can get some money in boxing, and boxing is whacking them in now. Now you see how they build. They build a boxing ring like a half octagon. You know what I'm saying? And they box and stuff like that. So Jayden White better be very very careful.
Yeah, what's the long code that Vito Belfort? Well, he supposed to follow pantyhose De La Hoya, but De La Hoya dropped out because he got sick. Then he fights Evander Holyfield, who he should have fought.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Evander Holyfield, but he should have fought Vito. He's back. He's practically 60. They can either fight one of the Paul brothers. You can fight Jake. You can fight Logan, or you can fight like I'm thinking Mike Tyson said he's supposed to be fighting. So I'm hearing that Mike supposed to be fighting Logan Paul somewhere down the road.
No. I don't want to see no exhibition. I want to see a real fight.
Even Mike is. I know Mike's about like he's almost 60 himself too. Mike was killed Logan Paul.
That's what I'm saying.
He would kill him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Logan Paul, no. You biting off. I don't want to see no. That fight, I'm letting you know right now. I don't want to see no exhibition. No, I want to fight. Logan Paul, you say fight. That's right. I want him to get laid out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it will not even last either.
Yeah, well, like because Mike, if he hits that body a few times and throws that uppercut, Logan's gonna be, you might throw the damn towel,
Even Tyson missed. Throw the towel. No. You gonna get some good old whipping, boy. You get good old whipping.
Logan get curb stomped. I mean, because you being from New York, Mike from Brownsville.
Exactly. That Beeville style. Boo boo. Oh, look. Yeah. Casket, baby. Yeah. Sweet. Leave your ass stinking in the corner, baby. That's right.
I say, you want some of this too, Jake? Say, nope.
No. Yeah. But tend to your brother. Yeah. Because he might need feed him for the rest of his life. Some Jello pudding in this morning. Yeah. Because he's going to bust your insides up, boy. Yes, sir. Yeah.
But, let's talk that Jose Masvidal wants to fight Jake. But Jose Masvidal, he got knocked out by Usman twice. And he but you remember you forget Jose used to fight alongside Kimbo Slice.
Right.
He used to do street fight with Kimbo Slice. That people, he got knocked out by Usman, but the fact is you got to think about how many hits he took over here. That one fight, he knocked out a fight that fighter that Jake knocked out, and that was Ben Askren. But most of these fighters who jumping over the boxing because they just some of them just making money just made from one fight more than they made in maybe their entire MMA career.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I wish the Kimbo Slice would have lived longer.
Yeah,
I would like to see him how far he could have been because he was with a pretty good camp.
Mm-hmm. I think years of he should have took care of himself. This is what I tell people: if you have any kind of thing like, especially if you're taking you're taking EPDs, stuff like that, it does affect you. But if he took better care of himself, that fight with him in about 3000, that was the worst fight in the world. I mean, it was like watching two grandpas fight each other. That was just a sad.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I think. It's a fight we don't want to mention. But he was a pretty good dude. Kimbo was a pretty good dude. I used to see some of his street fights on YouTube back before YouTube became so family friendly. I remember that fight fought that guy Gannon, and that was a pretty good fight. I mean, that was Gannon was taking a beating. That dude I saw his face. He looked like dude from the Goonies, but he came back. That guy took a beating. He took a beating, kept on ticking, and he came back. He beat Kimbo. And I think that's a fight they never. I think that's a fight. I think it was on Kimbo back of mine. I don't know if they ever had a rematch or not. They probably didn't. But that dude took a beating. He took a beating.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Like I said,
That's it.
we, we did pretty good for
He did all right. He did all right.
Yeah, we did all right.
He did all right. He made some money, but I just wish like you said, if he would have took care of himself, and I'm saying he was with the right team too. What could have been?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What could have been? Because I think little by little he was getting better. I think better time to learn the wrestling and stuff like that, learn the arts of it. I'm talking learn the art. I mean, it takes years. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but what could have been? I think Campbell. I'm not going. I put it like this. I'm not saying, oh yeah, he would have been a great and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say that, but I think he would have been one of the top tiers. I think he could have won a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? He could have been great too. Let me change that. Could have been great too, because he did know how to box. I think I think people felt that he did know how to box and everything. He just gotta learn the techniques of submission and wrestling and stuff like that.
And take down the kicks.
Yeah, he kicked down the kicks, right? So if he had some of that packed down, what could have been?
He would have done better when in the early days of the UFC. Back in when they had pretty much it was like anything goes, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves kind of mentality.
Yeah,
he would have done better there.
Like back in the '90s, early '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even the mid '90s, right? I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Last remarks, please stay right there. Make my last remarks. We're gonna close it out as a fan.
Well, folks, really enjoyed talking to my brother here, Underrated Darkness, the number one grinder. We appreciate y'all coming through. The 12 people that like this, 2 people that are watching. We like talking about MMA. Like I said, I am still a bit of a novice. I've been. Tell you the truth, I wasn't a big fan of MMA because it just didn't. I was a boxing fan, but the last few years, boxing kind of fell off from my taste. I don't really follow the fighters like anymore. The guys who usually watch are gone, retired. But it's a joy to talk about something like this, and it's a joy to hang out with my brothers, the number one grinder, the watcher, Gucci 23. Also, if anybody's interested, if you know my brother, the underrated, reach out to him, come on board, talk about it. If you're a fan of MMA, come on, talk about it. Give us experience.
Yes.
Share. Also, like I said, get the ladies on here.
Yes.
Because I know a lady I mentioned to a lady who we're part of the same family series combat sport, Tay Brown. She talks about MMA. If Tay listening, hey, next time come join us because you're a little bit more knowledgeable about MMA altogether compared to I am. You really pay attention to a lot, especially she's a boxing fan too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tay Brown. Yeah. Bring your pretty self out here. Don't tell the coach though, but just bring your pretty self over here.
And she is.
Bring your pretty self out here. I've been a big fan of yours. I'm not gonna lie to you. I sure was. So bring your pretty self over here and bless us. But we want ladies to come on in too. We do. We really do. You're gonna open it up. You watch and see. It's gonna take a little time, but we open it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for participating, whoever listened in the crowds, and also Brother Watcher in the chat. Thank you so much. This is the last of the Underrated MMA Sports Talk number 28. I guess number 29 will be next week. I hope we can get like a nice panel. Come on by this stuff, and shout out to Escatra 23. Please get well, brother. And I know, Brother Watcher, you hopefully we can see you next week and we can break things down. And I might go on. I want you to stay there, Brother George, after I end this because I want to ask you a question.
All right.
So I want you to stay right there. I might do a live tonight. I might. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I might do a live. If it's gonna be a live, probably another hour, hour and a half. If I'm going to do it and stuff, so I might do the underrated music talk. I just I see what's up with that. I don't know. It depends how I feel, but I hope everybody's doing well. Please take care of yourself the rest of the week, and understand this. If you travel to your destination or home by yourself, with a family member, friends, association, sex buddies and all that and everything. The ones get their boobs done and their behind done and all. Take care of yourselves. Take extra safety. That's a joke. Take take extra safety precaution out there because the climate out there and it's real and we don't want nothing to happen to you. So, on behalf of my secondary channel, the number one grinder, Real Talk, just my brother right here, brother George Reyes, the emperor of lady bodybuilding and MMA extraordinaire, brother Watcher, also MMA and boxing extraordinaire. I want to thank y'all on behalf of us. I want to thank you so much. And that's like I said, watch out for me tonight. I might do something. I might do something tonight, so watch out for that. And rest of the week, this one is goes. Stay blessed, stay blessed, stay blessed.
All right. Peace.